Hey guys, time for Tackle Tip Tuesday. I've gotten a lot of questions about deep fishing. We're getting to the time of year where the fish are starting to get out, and so some of the questions were, if you had to pick 3 baits, what would you use? What would you use fishing offshore? In that 10 to 25 foot. First of all, would be a deep diving crankbait. A BD7 is one I've used over a lot of the years. This bait is the one that I'm going to throw kind of in search mode. First of all, I'm going to use my electronics. Times have changed. Back in the day, I just took off down a ledge and threw the crankbait until I found a school. Well, now I idle. I idle and look and look and look, and when I see them, that's whenever I throw the crankbait in there and kind of the search mode. And then, the next lure will be a Swimbait. Money Minnow. I usually put it on a 3/4 or 1 ounce head, depending on how fast I want to go through the school. Probably the clearer the water, the more I'm going to lean towards a 1 ounce. And this is a bait you catch 2 or 3 on a crankbait. A lot of people would say, well, that's it, that's all of them. What's happened is you told those fish you're there, and it's once you throw in there, the first cast I throw in there and don't get a bite, I'm going to pick up another bait. The Swimbait would probably be the next one. Throw it in there. Catch usually a few, sometimes several, and then you're going to make 2 or 3 casts and you're not going to get a bite. And that's when I'm going to pick up a big worm. The mighty worm, it's just something big, and it's something that I can drag on the bottom. I usually put it on a stand-up head, 5/8 ounce, and it's just something big. A lot of times it seems like the big fish out there are going to come on the first cast on a crankbait or on the last cast on the big worm. But with those 3 baits, I can fish efficiently and effectively offshore. But don't forget your electronics, because these days that's kind of where it starts. Hopefully these tips will help you the next time you want to fish in that deep water.